What's up guys, T-Mart here, and today we have a ton of Call of Duty news to talk about, most of it regarding a brand new and very exciting feature in COD World War II. So hope you guys are excited. Huge shout out to my man Perry Nation. He's a part of the notification squad. If you guys want to join, all you have to do is just tap that bell button. You'll be notified every single time I upload. You'll never miss a video. So once you've done that, drop a comment down below and you may get a shout out on the next video. But anyway, let's start off. We've got a couple of small topics that don't have to do with World War II. We'll finish up with World War II. So starting off is that Modern Warfare Remastered is officially becoming its own standalone game. And I feel like most of us saw this coming. There were rumors about this circling around for the past couple of months, but it's officially happening. It's coming out this week on the 27th on PlayStation 4. And I mean, I guess that's exciting. I feel like it's a little bit too little too late. Like I feel like all the hype around that has passed. Maybe back in like November, December, a lot of people would have been excited about this because they didn't really care about Infinite Warfare. But at this point, everybody who's a fan of Call of Duty has probably purchased the Legacy Edition by now to be able to get both. Especially, like, it's crazy. This game, the standalone game, is going to be $40. Like, how nuts is that? So right now, the standard edition of Infinite Warfare is $30. Modern Warfare Remastered by itself is $40. And then the Legacy Edition of Infinite Warfare that includes both is $50. So right now, if you wanted a standalone game, Infinite Warfare is actually cheaper than Modern Warfare Remastered. The base game is cheaper than the game that was supposed to be the bonus. Think about that for a second. Kind of funny, right? Well, anyway, there is something exciting coming along for all of us with this release. When it's released on the 27th, we're also starting up a brand new community event called the Days of Summer. So this is going to be a 5-a-week community celebration with all sorts of in-game giveaways, XP events, and new playlists across multiple titles. They haven't told us exactly what those titles are going to be. I'm sure we can assume it's going to be Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered. We may even get some Black Ops 3 stuff in there, which could be kind of cool. And there is going to be a brand new Modern Warfare Remastered map. So personally, I'm a little bit hyped about this. They said it's going to be a summer-themed map. I don't know if it's going to be kind of a remake of a current map on there, kind of like we had Downpour without the rain, or how that's going to work, but it sounds pretty exciting. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. That's all happening next Tuesday. We'll keep an eye out. But anyway, let's move on to Call of Duty World War II. So today was a very, very good day. We learned a lot about the upcoming headquarters feature.
And finally, we have headquarters. This is something special, everybody, at Sledgehammer Games, and it's the first of a kind for the Call of Duty community. It's really a living space where fans can connect, be rewarded, compete, show off, and have fun outside of matches. It's a transformation of how the community comes together, and we really want you to see it to understand it. So just a tiny peek here. Let's take a look.
That is going to be one of the biggest changes that Call of Duty has this year. It's one of the biggest innovations. And when we first heard about it, I thought it was pretty cool. But the more we learn about it, the more I realize just how significant this mode is going to be. So let's talk about what we know up until this point. Headquarters is the first ever social space in Call of Duty. It's somewhat similar to something like the Tower in Destiny, and it's this central area where when they're not in a match, all sorts of people from all over the community can come together to this one location, and you can interact with each other, you can communicate with each other, you can show off your accomplishments and do all sorts of stuff like that. That was our original description of the headquarters, and when I heard that, I thought it was pretty cool. You know, it's this new feature we haven't seen before. Obviously, it's in a few of the other games out there, but we've never seen it in Call of Duty, so that's cool. But how much are we really going to use that? Like, it's going to be a cool, exciting new feature at first, and then I felt like it was probably going to kind of get old after a while. But since then, we've been starting to learn about a lot of crazy features they're adding in. So number one is during the live stream with Afrojack, they confirmed there are going to be prestige exclusive areas. Check this out.
Also, a nice little part for you is there's an exclusive prestige area, so you only have access after you've prestiged.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds kind of cool. There's like a social hierarchy thing going on here where as you progress and as you move along with the game, you're gonna get access to more in terms of the areas within the HQ and maybe even rewards. Who knows, but it's kind of cool. And maybe we'll have different levels within that. So maybe there's like a prestige area, but then within that area, there's only prestige 5 and above. And then within that, there's a 10th prestige club or something like that. Like, how cool would that be? Where everybody else is like sitting outside looking in and wishing they could get there, and the 10th prestigious are doing something super awesome. I don't know. That could be kind of cool, but that's just one of the things. Another huge thing is the firing range. So the firing range in the last couple of years for Call of Duty has been a very solo experience. You create your class, you go into the firing range, and you can mess around and shoot some targets a little bit. Like, it was cool. It wasn't the biggest feature in the world, though. You know, I personally didn't spend a lot of time in the firing range unless I was like trying to warm up before a game battles match or something. But this year, it's going to be a little bit different. So you can do the firing range solo just like you always have, or you can do it with a bunch of people. So you can have a lot of your friends there with you. You can do different challenges and even challenge people to shootout events where it's like a competition and all sorts of stuff like that. And that's not where the competition ends. They said there are going to be a ton of ways to compete against friends and against other people in this HQ mode. There's even something called the Pit. There is a 1v1 area in the headquarters where you can challenge friends and foes to a 1v1 match. How stinking cool is that? So that's what we know about headquarters so far, but today we learned a lot more about it based on an interview that Sledgehammer did with Eurogamer. We're gonna hit the highlights here. So first of all, headquarters is based on the beach in Normandy. It's based 3 days after D-Day. That's the location, the locale, the setting. You guys can kind of visualize what that would look like. It's gonna be pretty gnarly. And headquarters is actually the very first place that you spawn in when you boot up multiplayer. So I'm assuming we're not gonna have like a basic like menu system anymore. You're not gonna have like a find a match and a private match and a barracks and a leaderboards and stuff like that. You're gonna spawn into headquarters, and then my guess is we'll be like moving and walking around to these different things. Like maybe you can walk to the deployment line and get sent out to a multiplayer match, or maybe you can walk over to the leaderboards, which are like on this giant chalkboard or corkboard for all in the headquarters lobby to see. Like, how cool would something like this be? That'd be pretty awesome. Again, I'm just kind of, you know, guessing here. I'm spitballing ideas, but they did say this is the first place you're going to show up in multiplayer. It's not just that basic menu system. And in terms of new features and new things we're going to be able to do, they did say mission challenges are going to be a part of headquarters, so you can visit your recruitment officer, you can visit your challenge officer, and your division leader to get new daily and other challenges. You go out, you complete them, then you come back and you'll be rewarded. Obviously, you can communicate and interact with other players. Like, this is all live. There are going to be 48 other living, breathing people in this lobby with you, which is kind of cool. They are going to have voice chat, which that sounds a little bit sketchy to me, especially knowing some of the Call of Duty community. I mean, some people are great, some people aren't also great. So, I mean, think about having 48 people all with mics in one room. Like, there's no way they're gonna do that. There's gotta be some, like, maybe it's proximity chat, maybe there's, you know, I don't know. They're gonna have to figure out something for that. It'll be interesting to see what they do, but you are gonna be able to talk with other people, which is kind of cool. You're also gonna be able to use emotes, and listen up here because this is the biggest part of this video. They have directly said that these emotes will be era appropriate. So you're not gonna be dabbing, you're not gonna be, you know, hotline blinging and whipping and nay-naying and stuff like that. Well, all that stuff was kind of funny in Black Ops 3. That totally would not work with the era of Call of Duty World War II. Sledgehammer knows that, and they are not gonna do that to us, which is really, really good. I'm so happy about that. And I'm happy about what that implies for other things, because not only for the emotes and the celebrations and stuff like that, but think about for weapon camos, think about for player customization, think about for all the other things that we have out there which have been kind of crazy in the past. It sounds like Sledgehammer wants to keep it very realistic and very era appropriate. So, you know, based off of that, we can assume that we're not going to have weed smoking camos and all sorts of stuff like that, which is good. You know, we've already heard enough complaining from people about black German soldiers and the lack of Nazi symbols and stuff like that to last a lifetime. I mean, is it the most historically accurate for the multiplayer? No, that's what the campaign's for. To me, it doesn't really bother me. Were there people quick scoping and respawning back in the 1940s too? Absolutely not. So, you know, that stuff doesn't bother me as much, but if we had people running around with bright neon camos, dabbing and jumping around and stuff, that would have been a little bit frustrating, and that would have really killed it. So I'm glad to know that in terms of the customization, both for characters, weapons, and stuff like that, it looks like Sledgehammer is going to keep it cool. They're going to keep it appropriate, which is very, very good, and a lot of people can be very, very happy about that. Now, there's going to be some sort of leveling feature when it comes to the social side of things, which is kind of interesting. They haven't gone into detail about this, but apparently as you're doing these things and being like a positive community member, you're going to be earning points. And as you earn more points, you're going to get more rewards in terms of gear and calling cards and other kinds of customization bonuses, which I think is really, really cool. I think something that's been very toxic, especially lately, is the Call of Duty community. And I think it's awesome that Sledgehammer is creating this community-focused, like camaraderie-based, you know, space where we all can work together rather than all being toxic. And hopefully that helps out. Hopefully it works out. Who knows what happens. But when you can get cool exclusive stuff by being a good guy and actually contributing and, you know, making emblems and stuff like that, I feel like it's going to, you know, have a positive impact on the player base, which is really, really good. Now, next up, this is one of the things I'm most excited about for this HQ, prestiging. They've said that prestiging, they feel, needs a lot more celebration and fanfare, and they've made it a big deal in this game. So in previous Call of Duty games, you guys know, you go into your barracks, you go to prestige, you have to click a couple of buttons, and then all of a sudden it's done. Like, it's kind of this exciting moment, and then all of a sudden it's, oh shit, I'm level 1, I have to rank all the way up again, I have to unlock all my guns again, that sort of thing. Now it's gonna be a bigger experience. So when you prestige in the headquarters, you go over and you meet the general, and then he takes you up to the bluff, the cliffside overlooking the beach, and you prestige in front of everybody else in the lobby, in front of 47 other people. That is gonna be amazing, and I'm sure there's gonna, you know, have cool sounds and music and celebration and all kinds of stuff like that. That sounds like it's going to be a really, really cool feature. And again, they're giving us more reasons on why we want to prestige, because you want to get in that cool 10th prestige club. But yeah, so there's that. There's also other stuff like party up features. Apparently, you're going to be able to send out a notification to everybody in that HQ that's saying like, hey, I'm looking for a group to go play zombies. You guys can immediately party up and go play zombies together. Again, everything is community focused. They really want to improve the community and give us options to meet new people and find new friends and enjoy it as a community and not just sit there and solo queue all day, which is really nice. And they said that there are a ton of other features they haven't even announced yet. We'll find out more about those in the future. And they said it's going to be a major part of the game that will receive updates just like the multiplayer does. So, you know, as the game grows, as the community grows, it's going to constantly be evolving. They're going to be adding new features. They may even have seasonal events and all sorts of stuff like that. So, yeah, guys, that is headquarters. Like, holy cow. When I was reading this article, my head exploded because, like I said, I thought it was going to be this feature that was like, oh, yeah, this is cool. It was exciting at first, but then the hype would fade over time. But it actually sounds like they're going to put a lot into this mode. There's going to be a lot to do, a lot to earn through it. And it's going to be this entirely new playable space that we've never had before, which is really, really cool. So I'm excited about it. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace out.